So right now, I'm up on the north slope of Alaska to look at the environmental effects of global warming on melting sea ice. Just kidding, I'm at the Red Dog Mine. We're going to check out some cool mining equipment. The thing we're really going to be looking at is these Western Star 6900s. Although, you know, I had to look at the other things too, because I love equipment. Especially big equipment, and it does not get any bigger than mining. Okay, so a little bit of an update here. Me and Matt are going to be heading to the very top of Alaska, like Arctic Ocean, right looking across the water from Russia, kind of Alaska. So we're going to go up there, talk to Red Dog Mine about getting some Edison trucks up there, what we could do, and really learn about what makes the toughest vehicle possible. Hopefully while we're gone, all the guys in the shop are going to have this cab totally finished. We're going to get those mirrors welded onto the cab, get that figured out. Hopefully it can come back and this cab will be ready to be sent off for painting and all that. Hopefully a little bit of the hood done. Gonna keep building some of these light towers. Eric's working on one right now, but should be a good trip and he's excited to see what gets done while we're gone. Honestly, between us, I'm trying to learn not to be as much of a micromanager, to be able to give people tasks. Like, I'm learning how to give people tasks, have faith that it'll get done without direct supervision, and training the crew up for that, and they're getting a lot better. Like, I'm feeling more and more confident every time I have to leave for a business meeting, because to be honest, there's going to be a lot more of these meetings in the field, but I'm leaving here confident knowing that we have a good team of people. The things are going to get done while I'm gone. If they got any questions, they can reach me, and it's a little bit of a learning step, but it's going pretty well. This role from direct hands-on to more supervising as we're getting larger it's a struggle, but I think it's going well. There we go. Well, we're leaving Merritt, heading down to Vancouver. All right, just made it down to the Vancouver airport. Figured out the only place you can park a crew cab long box Ford is if you go to the back end of Value long-term parking. You can back between the pillars and overhang the ditch. Otherwise, you stick way out into the middle of the road. So from here, we got to take the train to the airport. I absolutely love trains. Trains are just fun. Going in or continuing? I think we go in. From Vancouver, we're flying with Alaskan Airlines down to Seattle, from Seattle up to Anchorage, and then from Anchorage we'll be going up to the mine itself. In case you're wondering, yes, it does take an entire day just to get up to the mine. Absolutely worth it, but that's a long day. The things we do just to look at the cool trucks, I tell you. But we made it. We are now at the Red Dog Mine. This is the Arctic Ocean. That is a giant conveyor to load all the ore out when the sea ice breaks. And that is the lower camp facilities. When I like to talk about heavy vocational trucks, this is the kind of truck work that I'm talking about. These trucks up at Red Dog Mine are Western Star 6900 XDs. These are some of the toughest trucks made. Everything on them is completely custom spec. There is over 300 custom specialized parts that needed to be engineered to put on these trucks that separate it from a highway tractor. Everything from reinforced front bumpers to reinforced rear frame rails. They are triple framed. These are the toughest trucks on the road, and Western Star doesn't make them anymore. They just completely abandoned this production line completely. They shut the plant down in order to make the electric Cascadia instead. All they want to build is highway tractors to haul 80,000 pounds on they're not interested in building these custom trucks. That's just the unfortunate truth. They're tough, they're great, they just don't make them. And I'm no expert, but I don't think the electric Cascadia is going to replace this monster. Why do the heavy vocational trucks need to suffer to have electric? Like, why is electric replacing this? How come we can't just have both? Oh, fun fact about these ore trucks. These are actually the most fuel efficient vehicles in North America per ton hauled. Yes, they may get 1.5 miles to the gallon, but they haul so much weight that if you look at the ton mile, the amount of tonnage you haul per mile, you're actually getting more ton moved for less fuel than a Freightliner Cascadia rolling down the interstate. The most fuel efficient you can get is by loading more weight. It's as simple as that. But anyways, we came up to Red Dog Mine in order to look at these trucks, so why don't we have a good look at them here? We spent a lot of time talking to the mechanics about what works, what doesn't work, what they like, what they haven't liked in the past, and we just made notes of everything that is Skookum. I mean, you look at these things, heavy planetary axles. Every single cross member is reinforced, built up. Look at those torque arms. Everything on this truck is built super custom, super to spec, the way Red Dog Mine wants them made. These trucks are custom built the way the mechanics wanted these trucks built. They have to survive in the toughest conditions possible. So when I say they overbuilt this truck, I mean they overbuilt this truck. They did a fantastic job when they spec'd these trucks out. These things are Skookum. I mean, have a look at this. Triple frame rails on the back end. How often do you ever see that? So, see these things on the air breathers up there? If you're wondering what those are for, it's snow. The blowing snow can blow so hard across this barren, flat Arctic tundra that trucks can get such low visibility they get snowed in. When they get snowed in, them air breathers can actually pack with snow to shut the motor off. If that motor shuts off at 40, 50 below while a driver is stuck in a storm, they may not survive that. So what they do is they put these special Donaldson air filters, and that removes the snow from being sucked into the breather, clogging it up, so that this truck can stay running in an emergency if that truck is stranded out on the road. That is just some of the specialized engineering that goes in to make these things. Have a look at the cab height on these trucks. This thing is off the ground, so you can easily get in there and work on everything. I love that feature. I mean, we spent an entire day talking with the mechanics about what to do and how to build a truck, but that's kind of boring. So let's have a look at what these trucks do. These trucks run 24 hours a day hauling ore, 80 kilometers down the haul road from the Red Dog Mine to the port up along the ocean there. And I'm not joking when I say these things move hundreds of tons of ore per trip. 3 trips per shift, 2 shifts per day, 7 days a week up in the Arctic tundra. The very first thing you do is punish a truck. You fully load it, and then you got to make this sharp left turn. I mean, it may not look sharp in the video, but it is very sharp when you have 2 full-size trailers and hundreds of tons behind you. Once you made this corner, you got to go way in, and then you're off heading down that 80-kilometer haul road in the dirt, which, keep in mind, we are on the very north part of Alaska, so even in the middle of June, there is snow. That's why these trucks have to be built to a different spec. You cannot just take a highway truck in the interstate and come down here and do this. You might be able to do it once, but you're not getting a second trip out of that. Like, just imagine the torque on the drive lines alone. I mean, this destroys trucks. This truck is less than 2 years old. Have a look at it. Look how much that thing is wobbling around.
That's nothing. That's a tight one.
That's a tight dash.
Yeah.
Like, it's gone. It's
Got some of them to be broken, and that thing will move up and down. And this tablet will move that far or more.
and this is only a couple of year old truck. It's why off-highway trucks need to be built off-highway. The other thing is, this truck is up in the middle of the Arctic, and there is no insulation in here at all. It is just sheet metal and a little tiny block of foam that keeps the cold out. No wonder that's cold way up here. I gotta say though, there is something profoundly beautiful about the Arctic. So once down at the end of that 80-kilometer road, we get to these 2 giant buildings. Fun fact, they are the 2 largest buildings in Alaska, and the space station actually uses them as a reference point because they're visible from outer space. There we go, there's the door we're looking for to unload in. You know, I gotta give a lot of respect to these truck drivers. They're moving what the lower 48 would consider a super load weight, like police escorts, highway shutdown kind of weight. They are doing that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, up in the middle of the Arctic in those kind of conditions. That is a truck driver right there, in my opinion. I'm very impressed with everybody I talked to. Absolutely a solid group of professionals up here. So because everything comes in via ocean, there is no roads up to Red Dog. Everything's brought in by containers. Because they have so many containers to move, they use these trucks to haul 5 containers at once. When the sea ice lifts and the port unfreezes, these guys have about a month and a half to bring in everything the mine needs to operate for the entire year. Red Dog Mine is the epitome of trucking saying, I can make it one trip. Oh, we're heading back to the mine. But these containers you see here weigh more than a D11 cat, just to put that into perspective. And let's not forget all the fuel it needs to produce the power to run the mine. I'm pretty sure these guys just took a tank car off of a rail train and mounted it on wheels, because this thing is massive. The video does not do it justice at all. But why would Edison Motors be here? Like, why would we be talking about an electric truck? And it's because I truly believe that electric is best in this kind of application. Let me talk about freight trains. Freight trains move a ton of weight, and they are electric drive because electric is super high torquey. Cat 797 haul trucks, Laterno log loaders are electric because electric delivers the torque you need. Like in a tri-drive configuration like this, we could put over 1,000 horsepower to the ground. Plus, you're coming down these hills with this weight, that regenerative braking recharges those batteries up to launch this weight back up the hill on the other side. So it's already more efficient off-highway. Like, I'll be honest, does electric make as much sense on the highway, light loads down in the US? I don't know. You could really take a truck at 80,000 pounds, match the gearing right, have it cruise at 1 speed all day. But with up here and this weight and this kind of bush, you want the high torque. It's like logging, rig moving, heavy haul. You want to be able to deliver that torque to the ground. It's going to give you more reliability, more longevity, more power, and reduce the fuel consumption of these trucks. Building trucks like this is exactly why we started Edison Motors. I don't want to build an electric Cascadia. I want to literally build a freight train on wheels. That's what these trucks are. That's what they're packing. That's what I want to do. I think these may be the heaviest spec trucks in the world, and that's what I want to set as a goal. This is the quality that I want to build our trucks to. But that concludes our trip to the mine. We had an amazing couple days, learned a ton, and we were lucky enough to stop in at Anchorage at Linden Transport and check out this beautiful 1950s Kenworth, the first one they sent up the Alaska Highway. All right, I am back here in the shop, and at the start I was nervous about leaving for the week, but now that I got back, things are getting done. Like, they still have more light towers that they're rolling out of the shop. I went over, had a look at the quality. Everything is really great. It's up to standard. Nothing dropped while we were gone. And the truck is moving along quite well. All in all, I'm really, really relieved about getting back. I know I got to do more. I got to go to Calgary on another trip on Tuesday to go meet with some concrete guys. But it went really well. We learned an absolute ton from this trip as well. Like, we seen what it takes to build the toughest trucks working in the toughest conditions, nowhere near a maintenance shop. We've learned what goes into those trucks. We know what parts work, what they told us didn't work in the past. Like, even if we don't provide a truck to them, which I think we got a good chance, hopefully, because I would love to get a truck up there. We have learned so much to go to make these trucks service and work at that level of build. Like, yeah. Also, I really hope we can get a truck up there because they're going to test it harder than any other truck. And I want to build a truck to meet that specs, because if we can meet that specs where you work in the Arctic Ocean on a remote site that is only available via plane or barge for 3 months of the year, that's what I want to build to. That's the specs of quality and consistency that I want to have in our trucks going forward. Now we've learned how to build those specs. We're going to apply those to these trucks. I'm excited. This was absolutely worth the trip up there, and I am so grateful for it. You know, I just want to end this video by giving a big thank you to all the people at Linden Transport, at NANA, the local First Nations company, and for Tech Resources for inviting us up here, showing us these trucks, teaching. We have learned a lot about specialized heavy haul applications at this kind of weight. Thanks again, guys, for having us up here, teaching us all this stuff, and showing us this cool equipment.
You want to go grab one?
I would love to go grab dinner with
Let's
ya.
go grab dinner. And I'll have my half-hour lunch right now instead of later.
Sounds like a fantastic idea.
Give you a chance to get something to drink. I'm sure you're thirsty.
I am a little thirsty.
Something besides chips.
Yeah.
If we were to go, right now it would be past dinner time, and it is Wednesday, which is steak night.
Oh shit! Don't want to miss steak night.
You don't want to miss steak. So we'll just go up down there and enjoy a meal.
Besides, they said this one's the fun camp, anyways.
This is the camp that you want to be stuck on weather days.
Besides, it's the one near the ocean, so I was saying it's right along the ocean, the beach. It's
It's the Ritz.
It's basically an all-inclusive beachfront resort.
We're going to the resort right now.
Yeah, we're going to the all-inclusive resort. Might as well be in Mexico, eh?
Above the Arctic Circle Resort.
Yes. The world's, it's probably one of the world's most highest north ocean or all-inclusive resorts.